You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are back with another Cabral HouseCall. Yesterday was a lot of fun answering questions on digestion. We answered questions on ovarian-based cysts. We answered questions on the ears popping and feeling blocked. So many different questions yesterday. I do hope that you tune into that show. EMFs, antibiotics, it's all there. That was episode 1205, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. That was stephencabral.com/1205 for the best saunas, best EMFs, what to do if you've taken antibiotics, which test to run for mycobacteria. So really, we covered a lot on that show. Do hope that you tuned in. All right. I'm gonna dive right into today's questions. If you're not familiar with the Cabral House Calls, what we do is that each and every weekend, we are answering our community's questions that come in from all around the world on all things health, wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, and of course, health coaching-based careers with our integrative health practitioners. So always free, always feel welcome, free to ask a question. Daily questions can be answered at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's our free Facebook group. You're welcome to join. We would love to have you. For those people that don't mind waiting about 10 weeks or so for me to answer that question, they can ask at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. All right, let's get into our first question of the day, and it's from May. May is writing in, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I love your podcast, and I just started reading your book, which is so informative. My question is about wrinkles. I just turned 30, and I've started to notice more prominent wrinkles on my forehead and in between my eyes and around my eyes. I'm really good at taking care of my skin, and I wear sunscreen every day. I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to lessen the prominence of or prevent them from getting worse. I feel like at 30, they shouldn't be as deep yet. I know it's a vain thing, but when I do so, take so much care of my body and skin, I just wonder what more I could be doing. I don't eat dairy, gluten, soy, and minimal sugar. I try to follow a paleo diet and a moderate amount of protein with lots of veggies and some fruits and fat. Anyways, I appreciate any advice. Thanks for all you do." All right, May, happy to answer this question. So if we ran an organic acids test and we ran a hair tissue mineral analysis, that's called our starter kit. That would tell you if you're low on your vitamins and low on your minerals. That's important for the skin. Why? It's because zinc, copper, vitamin C are crucial for rebuilding the skin. Also crucial, and those get wiped out under stress, also crucial as well is the amount of amino acids and protein you're getting in, and collagen. So what a lot of people have been doing in our practice and all around the world with great success is doing one of our daily foundational protocols, level 2 or level 3, and adding the advanced collagen support to that. That has helped tremendously. People saying that their hair, their nails are growing faster than ever. Their skin is becoming more plump, more thick, and that's what it's supposed to do. And you do it along with all the nutrients you get in the daily nutritional support shake. And you take the omega-3s along with it for the skin. That's my highest recommendation. And if you want personalized recommendations, you can run that starter kit, which is the organic acids test and the hair tissue mineral analysis. That will help tremendously. And just make sure your vitamin D levels aren't too low with wearing sunscreen every day. And be careful that that sunscreen doesn't contain toxins in it, which most do. So if you want to know which ones I recommend, just go to stephencabral.com/podcast and type in suntan or sunscreen, and you'll find the ones I recommend. And then just make sure your vitamin D levels, like I said, are optimized. You can find your vitamin D levels on a thyroid adrenal hormone lab. Okay. Darum is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. What are your personal views on the vaccination debate? I'm not asking your recommendations, but if you're willing to divulge, do you believe vaccination is necessary, or do you understand where the anti-vax lobby is coming from as always, keep up the great work. All right, so Darren, people always ask my view on vaccinations. And unfortunately, at this time, I have to pass on giving you my exact recommendations because of, well, basically, both sides can't have a logical debate. And neither side is willing to listen to the other side, and neither side is willing to work with the other side. And what I am is integrative, and I believe that we need to listen to both sides because both sides have points. And so why don't we listen to that? Why don't we start to work through this in a more normal way, and we can do that. So, the thing is this, is that I'm pro people's ability to choose what they put in their body. So that's the thing, is like, you should be able to choose. Like, if you're super pro one way or another, totally fine. But, just be careful with taking away people's rights and things like that to choose what they put in their body. Because as we start to lose our rights over a course of time, again, this doesn't mean I'm pro or anti, but I'm very worried about people just losing, like, can we have the choice to put 5G in our home? Can we have the choice to decide what we put in our body? It gets a little worrisome because what's next? Like, what's the next liberty that you may lose after this? So again, even if you're pro vaccine, it gets a little worrisome if we give away our power to be able to choose in the first place. Again, because if you're pro, then you get to choose that, which is great. And then if you're anti, well, then you get to choose that. So I'm pro people being able to choose, but I'm not. I can't give my stance right now on whether I'm pro or anti-vax. What I recommend to people, and what I've always recommended, is this: listen to both sides of the argument. Most people can't have a logical and just like calm debate. Read books on both sides, then decide what is best for you. Some people might decide they want to do a delayed vaccination. Some people might think it's insane to give 2-year-old or under 60 different infectious disease injections in under a 2-year period of time. And then could they do it over 4 years? Could they wait till the child's 8? Does a child need a hepatitis B vaccination when they're not going to be, sexually active until their teenage years or so? So these are all good questions to just ask. And people just get so, I'm thinking of one person in particular right now who got so mad at me when I've never given my opinion ever on vaccines, and they just felt I believed one way, which, by the way, is really dangerous to assume anything. And they literally just started slandering me because they thought I was one way or the other. And that type of thing, I said nothing back. Why do I have to? That person's hurting themselves more than they're hurting me. They really are. I know they were trying to slander me, but I said nothing. And again, I'm not going to add fuel to that fire. And at the same time, their anger consumes them. It doesn't consume me. So I just want people to be able to talk on both sides, and that's it. So that's why I'm not going to give my personal view one way or the other right now. But I do recommend, like with anything, it's your body. Be cognizant of what you're putting in it. That's it. And then decide if it's the right thing or not, because maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And I'll let you decide. All right, that's my final stance on vaccines. Thank you, Darren, for bringing it up. And Fee is up next. Hi, a friend recommended your podcast, and I've been listening to you for just over a week and love it. I'm not sure if you can help. I'm based in Australia, and I'm having a hysterectomy in 2 weeks, and I'm really scared about it. I will get my health and fitness back on track after the surgery, and what to do in a 6 to 8 week period where I can exercise. I currently work out 1 to 1.5 hours, 5 to 7 days a week, and eat 900 to 1,200 calories a diet Monday through Friday, and with often, but not always, indulgent weekends, and make up the calories. Is this something you can help with or advise? Would be amazing. Looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, so this was asked on March 10th, so you would have gotten the hysterectomy on March 21st or so, March 24th, if I'm doing math correctly. Okay, and for those people who don't know what a hysterectomy is, it's the removal of a woman's uterus. So sometimes that's done because of maybe they feel there's precancerous space, cysts, or something's going on that the uterus has prolapsed or it should be removed for whatever reason. The doctor feels is necessary. So that surgery has already taken place. So you're looking to do what to recover. Now, here's the issue. On the Ask Cabral page, it does say that I will not be able to get back to you for about 10 to 12 weeks, just because that's when it gets read on the podcast, and we don't read these ahead of time. For what to do at the same day, basically, just go to cabralsupportgroup.com and ask right there, and it's my team of health coaches that are answering those questions. And if it hasn't come up before, they ask me, as well. So it sounds like you are potentially over-exercising and under-eating. And that makes for a really catabolic state. It starts to break down the skin, the hair, muscle tissue, nails get weaker. When you're only eating, you're eating like the minimum amount of calories. And you're exercising for an hour to an hour and a half a day. So I'm a little worried that you might be overdoing it, right? You might be pushing too hard and not eating enough food, especially if you're doing a longer fast as well. So if you're not looking to lose weight, I'm more interested in you eating a healthier diet 7 days a week and then having a flex meal or cheat meal, whatever you want to call it, 1 to 2 meals per week. And that's where you could, enjoy your favorite foods and be a little bit more indulgent with calories. And I'm a big believer that unless you're training for a sport, that most people's workouts should be 40 minutes or less. That's it. I mean, that's really all you need. Do your workout, get in, get out. Now, could you do a little bit more cardio or things like that? Sure, but light. I'm not talking about like hard cardio-based workouts. So that's what I'm recommending. I'm recommending for you as well the daily foundational protocol, level 3. So that is the daily nutritional support, the daily fruit and vegetable blend, the omega-3, the daily probiotic support, and the daily digestive enzyme. That will make sure that you, even if you're on a low-calorie diet, that you get every single one of your nutrients met through whole food and functional medicine or orthomolecular medicine, all right? So, Fee, that's what I would do. All right. And again, if you want to prove that to yourself ahead of time, you can always run a starter kit, the organic acids test, and hair tissue mineral analysis. And you can run omega-3 to look at your omega-3 levels. That would tell you all your vitamins and minerals and omega-3s. All right. Kim's up next. Let's see what it says. To whom it may concern, I was wondering if anyone from your team has had any experience with neurological disorders and know their symptoms. One of my family members is possibly dealing with neurological disorder that has shown symptoms such as losing mobility in the arms and legs. Treatments used for Lyme and ALS have helped in various ways, but some of the symptoms he has been experiencing, As of right now, I would like to hear and give my family members success stories if there are anyone in your team that has experience with this. It's been discouraging for myself and my family to hear that he will progressively get worse. Any and all help would be greatly appreciated. All right. So, Kim, you asked basically for what services, things like that. Here's the thing. I honestly, at this point, can't think of anything we have not seen or worked with in our practice in terms of a health issue. And that just comes with completing over 250,000 client appointments. It's just part of the game. You'll eventually see pretty much everything. And for us, we look for the underlying root cause. We're not treating disease, right? So what we're looking at is what's causing the neurological issues? What's causing the inflammation that's causing the neurological issues? Is it heavy metals? Could be. Could be lead. Could be cadmium. Could be mercury. So you can run a urine test if you want with your doctor. We run a hair tissue mineral analysis. I mean, for this type of condition, I recommend the big 5 labs. I can't recommend that enough because then you figure out everything. Is it high levels of omega-6? Is it high levels of arachidonic acid? Is it heavy metals? Is it high levels of copper? Is it super high levels of cortisol? Low vitamin D? Low levels of B vitamins? I don't know what we're looking at and I can't give you recommendations, honestly, until I see those labs. Then I know. And then I can give the recommendations, and you get on a call with one of my health coaches, and we give you the recommendations, and we give you that protocol. It's not that easy, but it is. We send the labs to your home. You complete them. You send them back to the lab. I get the data. I review the data with the health coaches. I give my recommendations. They give those recommendations to you. We follow the plan. And then ideally, you can do a follow-up call with the health coaches to make tweaks as needed. And it works great. It really does. So that's what I'm recommending. Again, you don't have to work with us. You can work with any integrative health practitioner or someone that is able to find out what the underlying root causes are that's creating these issues. All right. James B's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, hope you are well. I really appreciate all the work that you do. I love the holistic approach you take, and I've learned so much from your podcast. My question is, I've been a longtime sufferer of gut IBS issues, and I'm currently about to order the parasite and CBO protocols in hopes of treating these. I am then due to go on holiday to Thailand later in the year. I don't want to have all of my healing work undone when I go to Thailand, and I get any gut bugs or infections like Bali belly, Thailand tummy, etc. To summarize my question, do you have any tips or ideas on how to avoid contacting any gut bugs, infections, and specifically in damaging the gut lining while abroad, as I would hate making my intestinal permeability any worse or damaging it all and have to go through these protocols and healing work again? Shall I take any supplements with me? L-glutamine? Thanks a bunch. P.S. Please do an interview with Paul Chek. It should be easy now as he has just started a podcast. Also, do you know who he is? Haha, thanks, Doc. If you can only answer the first question, that's fine. James, I can answer both. First, I've been in the fitness industry forever, and since 97 or so, 96, 97, right along there. And I know who Paul Chek is. Paul Chek's one of the, great innovators and one of the old school, and I mean that as an endearing term. Like he's there, right? Like Mike Boyle, Paul Chek. There's some of the original guys in the fitness industry that I certainly think are great and very wise and very intelligent. Paul Chek's a great guy. Maybe I will have him on in the future. There's no doubt about it. I think he's excellent. So that's that. Okay. Next up, you asked about IBS type issues. You're doing the parasite protocol. Then you're going to do the Candida bacterial overgrowth protocol. And then you're going to seal up your gut with the CBO finisher. So you're perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, how do you make sure that you don't get, Bali belly, Thailand tummy, other terms as well when people go to other countries, such as Mexico? You get bacteria and you get E. coli and you get other types of bacteria into the gut. Couple things you can do. You can avoid any uncooked food, raw food that's been washed, with that water. You can avoid ice cubes in your drinks. You can avoid any non-bottled water, right? You can avoid washing your teeth with the water as well. You can just pour water from your water bottle if you'd like. What else could you do? Well, you could bring your own Life Straw type filter, or another filter over there, to filter all of your water through that as well, which will take out a lot of those parasites and bugs. So you could do that. So you could use the water and just run it through that if you wanted to. You could bring a travel Berkey. They make a little Berkey if you wanted to do that. You could do that as well. I also, when I travel to other countries, I take betaine, HCl, and pepsin with any meat-based meals to add a lot of heat to my stomach to burn it up. Black pepper is great for helping with that as well. What else can I give you for recommendations? Digestive enzyme, the daily digestive enzyme will help break the food down a little bit better. And then the other thing is you could decide just to use a little bit of oregano oil or the citricidal drops while you're there to kill bacteria that might be getting into your gut. And you could do that. It might be overkill, but I just wanted to give you everything that I would look at. I'm pretty relaxed when I'm on vacation. I just follow those same steps. And then I know, of course, if I get anything, then I have to just fix it. And that's what I do. So, James, I might be forgetting something there, but that's exactly what I would recommend for you is just be careful around the water. That's how you're going to get it, right? Undercooked meats, undercooked food, vegetables that are raw that have just been washed in the water, salads, salad bars, stay away from that. You'll be good. Ashley's up next. Okay, Ashley will be maybe our last question. We'll see. Hi, Dr. Brawl. At 23 years old, I developed my first fibroadenoma. Everyone can read it at stephencabral.com/1206. I know what you're talking about. I just can't pronounce it. I apologize. So basically, a cyst in the breast. I ended up developing 5 more in the next 4 years. Although I was told they weren't considered to be harmful, they got bigger and I would have a dull ache at times, so I had them removed. I got 1 more when I was 28, but it was small and didn't seem to be growing, so I left it alone. Now I'm 35 and I've noticed last week that it had grown larger and I've developed a new one. I had hopes that it was beyond this, so it's quite defeating to find it. Despite research I've done in doctors, nobody seems to know why women develop these and how to prevent them. Do you have any insight as to what this might be and how to get the body back into balance. Thank you so much. I just discovered your podcast less than a month ago, and I've been blown away by your knowledge. Can't wait to go back and catch up on all the previous ones as well. Thank you for all you do. Ashley, I'm happy to help with this. And, it is too bad because there actually are root causes for this. Now, are some women more prone to these benign tumors, benign cysts? They are, right? But here's what we're really looking at. A lot of times what we're looking at is an increase in estrogen dominance, an increase in dysregulated blood sugar. This typically happens because of chronic-based stress. Now, again, chronic stress in some women might lead to migraines. It might lead to infertility in some women. In some women, it may lead to these benign tumors that I can't pronounce. Fibroadenoma. I still can't pronounce it. And I know that's incorrect, but I apologize. And I know what you're going through. I've worked with a number of women in my practice. So here's what I want you to do. If you only ran one test, just one test, it would be the thyroid adrenal hormone to figure out if you have higher levels of testosterone, if you have high levels of cortisol, especially at night, lower levels of progesterone, higher levels of estrogen, or at least estrogen dominance, which means that estrogen compared to progesterone is high, even if estrogen itself is not. And then that test as well, the thyroid adrenal hormone will look at your vitamin D in terms of immunity. And then we'll also look at your insulin and hemoglobin A1C to make sure your blood sugar is not dysregulated. That's my number one for sure. But besides that, again, I would run the big five because we're most likely going to want to get you on omega-3s as a really potent anti-inflammatory that also helps with female hormones, especially EPA. I want to look at gut-based disturbances to see if there's just overall a lot of inflammation in the body stemming from candida overgrowth or potentially bacterial overgrowth. And then just lower levels of the potential vitamins that you need to keep the immune system, to keep the energy levels high. So that's what I recommend. Again, I gave you those kind of in order of importance, but no doubt about it, that's what I would do. And I believe it might have even been yesterday. I can't remember right now if it's just this old podcast 20 minutes ago or if it was yesterday. But another item that can help is proteolytic enzymes. That is pretty much any enzyme that contains higher levels of serrapeptase or nattozymes or proteases, just basically protein-eating enzymes. And you would take those away from meals. You can use Wobenzyme PS, and you can use our Florafilm if you'd like. And you would take 2 upon waking and 2 before bed, or even just 4 upon waking. You could do that. And that will take them away from food so they don't digest food. And they would go in and they would scavenge biofilm that shouldn't be there on the intestines, or they would go into the body and scavenge tumors and other items like that. So they work great. They've been used for many, many years. They're used in natural cancer support-based treatments. And you can look into those too. They're just called proteolytic enzymes. So Ashley, hopefully that was helpful. I want to be helpful. I want to do my best to at least point you in that right direction. And just know that, again, this does happen. And like you said, sometimes they ache more times than others. If they started to ache for you, think back to when you were 28 years old or so, or before that, actually, 23. Think back. If they ached more during the 5 to 7 days before you got day 1 of menstruation, then it was most likely from estrogen dominance and lower levels of progesterone, because I see that in my practice all the time. If that's the case, that's most likely what we're looking at, and it's just coming back. It's this vicious cycle. So that's when run the thyroid adrenal hormone and run it during days 19 to 21 or so of your cycle. Run the big 5 labs if you can. You'll get the data that you need to be able to correct the underlying root balances that may be causing this. So hopefully that helps, Ashley. Know where you're coming from. I've seen, again, many women in my practice, and I hope that you get the results that you deserve. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in today. I appreciate you. And as always, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else you believe it could serve. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.